So here we are for the finals action here in Austria. Mark Reinhardt starting on pole, Yannick Prumper second, and Ronald Volker is starting third on the grid. Here we go with the action from the first A final. We can see it's a good clean start from the first front of the field, first half of the field. Found this first lap nice and cleanly. Yannick already pressuring Mark in this first lap, and you can see Ronald Volker there in third place. He's keeping them honest, and then we've got Alexander Hagberg running in fourth and Victor Wilk running fifth. Those first 5 cars really close on these first few laps, but it's Mark who's starting to get into the groove. He's made use of that pole position. Yannick Prumper still running there in second place, the green car running in second, but Mark said earlier that pole position was going to be vital, making sure he can defend on that first lap and then drive a nice clean race from that point on. So Mark and Yannick starting to pull away from Ronald Volker now. So a bit later on in the race here that they've pulled out quite a big gap over Volker, who's running in third still. So it's these two German drivers, both really good friends away from the track. They pit together near the track. Yannick said he's learned a lot from Mark over the years, and obviously racing in German national championships together. Yannick was mentored by Mark's brother Tony in his early years, and Tony still helps Yannick prepare his car. Racing for different teams now though, but Mark Reinhardt out in front. Yannick is trying to keep him honest. Mark sort of going into cruise mode here though. He's got a decent gap to Yannick, but he can't afford to make a mistake, but he's just got to drive a clean last few laps into the final minute of the race now. Mark out in front, Yannick running second, Volker still running in third place at the time. So in this first leg of the A final, these two guys out in front have been the class of the field, but Mark said earlier made good use of that pole position, defended on the first lap when it was really important, getting through those first few corners without letting anyone through. Has then been able to calm it down, get in his groove, drive a fantastic race. Few laps left here. It's a great facility here in Austria, really technical track, but we're under a roof. It's up to 30 degrees inside the hall now for this leg of the A final, so motors and batteries starting to struggle a bit, but Mark comes across the line to win the first leg of the A final. Yannick finishes in second place, and Ronald Volker is going to finish in third. No, sorry, they've got one more. This is the final lap now. Here he comes, round down the front straight. Mark crosses the line, takes the win. Yannick finishes in second, and Ronald Volker finishes in third. Mark Fisher there congratulating Mark Reinhardt on a first leg victory. So over into leg 2 now. Obviously the grid stays the same for this leg. Mark's still sitting on pole. If he wins this final, he will be the European champion. Once again, a good clean start out front. First few cars circulating really closely. Look how close Yannick gets on these first few laps, really trying to put the pressure on. He knows really he's got to get past Mark in these first few laps. We saw how Mark was able to pull away in the first leg of the A final. Yannick doesn't want that to happen again this time by, so he's really keeping close. Look at the gap they've pulled on Ronald in third place already. So here we go, we've got a great battle for the lead here, but Yannick's car gets very sideways coming through that technical section of the track. That gives Mark quite a bit of breathing space now, and Yannick is going to have to start defending from Ronald Volker, who's running still in third place. But Mark Reinhardt out in front with that pink and white car, his classic paint scheme. Here he comes down the front straight again. And now here's the battle for second place. We've got Yannick here. Look how close Ronald gets at the end of the straight. And then there's Alexander Hagberg still in running in fourth place, but he's waiting to pick up any pieces if either of these guys make a mistake. Both of them running really clean in that at the moment, focusing on their racing lines. Yannick keeping the door closed at the end of the main straight there, but it's Mark Reinhardt who is out in front. Look at that! You can't even see the second place car at the moment. Now look at that lead he's pulled out. Yannick and Ronald having to race for second place slows them down a bit. So Mark has got loads of lead at the moment. And now back here's the battle for second place still. Yannick, he's being pursued by Ronald. They've managed to pull a slight gap out from Alexander Hagberg, but really tight from both of them through this infield section. Yannick gets big sideways moment there going through the infield sweeper. Ronald doesn't need a second invitation. He's straight up the inside to move into second place. But now back with the leader, Mark Reinhardt out in front. He's put the car on pole position. He's got a massive lead now in this second leg of the A final. He's already won the first leg. He struggled a bit in the start of qualifying with 2 DNFs on the first day of qualifying, but then really got it together and 2 TQ runs on the second day of qualifying. And he's going to come down the front straightaway. He's going to cross the line to win the European Championship. Mark Reinhardt is a European champion. There you go. Big congratulations from Ronald Volker and from Yannick Prumper. Fantastic racing from Mark Reinhardt and from the rest of the A finalists here in leg 2. Mark Reinhardt winning leg 2, picking up his another European championship. Let's go and grab a word with Mark. He's come off the rostrum, everyone around to congratulate him. Scotty's getting out of the way. Mark, 2 leg wins, fantastic drives from the A finals, well done.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be better today. I mean, the first leg was pretty close with Yannick. He was pushing pretty hard. It was a pretty close final, and yeah, second man in the beginning, like could see the first 2 laps, he was really, really onto my rear end of the car. But then he had one slider thing, he had one sideways, and then my car was just pretty easy to drive. I could control the race, and yeah, I could see the gap got bigger and bigger. So I'm pretty happy.
So here we go with leg 3 of the A final. Yannick effectively on pole position as Mark Reinhardt not starting this one, but it's off for a good clean start from the first half of the field. Ronald keeping Yannick very honest in his earlier. Look at those 5 cars we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 cars running really close on this first lap. So it's Yannick out in front, Ronald Volker running second place. And we've got Alexander Hagberg third in the green car just behind those. Then Victor Wilk and Chrissy Krapp having a good start to this final. Had a bit of bad luck in the first 2 legs of the finals, but having a better run this time so far. But it's Yannick converting an effective pole position into the race lead. But Ronald Volker's not letting get away, keeping the pressure on. Yannick driving an excellent race so far, keeping it nice and tight to the curbs, but not clipping them. No risk of throwing his car off the track. That's not what he needs to do at this point in time. A little bit further on in the race at the moment, we can see first 2 cars have pulled a slight gap out to Alexander Hagberg, who's still running third, and then Victor Wilks in 4th. And in fact, we've got Yildiz Groskamp, who's worked up into 5th place, starting from 9th on the grid. So a great opening half of the race from Yildiz there. But it's starting to look like it's a battle between these 2 cars, number 2 and number 3, Yannick and Ronald. Through the infield section they go once again. But Alexander and Victor are close behind them, running in 3rd and 4th. So here we are, coming towards the final minute of the race now. And Alexander's close right back up on Ronald. So we've got 5 cars there. You can throw a blanket over those 5 cars. There's nothing to choose between them. All of them know that if anyone makes mistakes, it's going to be straight down to 5th place. But they want to try and get that place on the podium. The Yannick and Ronald really want to get that 2nd place overall. Whichever one of them wins this leg will be 2nd in this championship. But you've got Hagberg behind and Victor Wilk. Both of them have got something to prove. Victor Wilk gets really close to Alexander that time by. Really close, tight racing going through the infield. Some superb racing from these are some of the top touring car drivers, not in Europe but in the world as well. And this is some fantastic racing here in Austria we're seeing this weekend. Really close through that first section. This is the final lap of the race. Oh, and Wilk tried to get up the inside of Hagberg, but ends up clipping him. That's going to earn Victor Wilk a 10-second penalty at the end of the race, but it's going to be Yannick against Volker. Coming to the last corner. Oh, Volker throws his car off the track. So Yannick takes the win in that leg. It's going to be Groskamp finishing in 2nd place, Volker 3rd, Fischer in 4th place. So that's how they finished in leg 3. Victor Wilk's penalty dropping him down to 7th. So the overall positions, Mark Reinhardt, your champion, Yannick Prumper taking the runner-up position, Ronald Volker 3rd, followed by Yildiz Groskamp, Victor Wilk, Alexander Hagberg, Steen Graverson, Mark Fischer, Andy Moore and Chrissy Krapp. So here, after the podium ceremony with Mark Reinhardt. Mark, wonderful championship. Talk us through the whole weekend.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, everything was just perfect today. It was my car was good, I drove okay, and after the bad start on the first qualifying day, I just luckily got back to pace to come back to the top. So I'm pretty happy, and yeah, but also, I mean, the whole A main I think was pretty good, and especially Yannick and Ronald, who both had the same pace, and yeah, I'm just happy.
Yeah, I feel happy. It's a great result for me. Also in the Czech Republic, I was 2nd overall. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, it was difficult to get the pace for Mark. And the last main, it was we had no chance to win, so we tried to secure a 2nd and 3rd. It was really difficult because we all went very close on the track, and yeah, second and third is for the team still great.
It's been a great week of racing here in Austria, and I think I'll leave the final word with our new champion Mark Rana to sum up. Don't forget you can join Nick next week on EFRA.ws for all the action from the 1/10 200mm IC touring cars. Until then, I'll leave you with Mark.
Yeah, I think this was just a perfect facility to make such an event. I mean, we had some rain during the race, and but with the roof on top and the open sides, we had no problems at all. So I think this is just a perfect facility to make the race like this, and the organization was perfect. Everything, we had not pit space a lot, and the cafeteria was good, and it was just perfect.